All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Day. Remember that the show is powered by IBEW Local 613. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, Craig. We talked about your basketball rankings yesterday. Now talk about, obviously, I do the girl basketball rankings. So let's go ahead and roll 6A. Craig, what are you most excited about just seeing these rankings? Obviously, we're going to go through everything, but 6A is very interesting with North Forsyth. Obviously, I have them at the top, but North Paulding, Grayson, any of those teams, I feel like the top four has a good shot to win the title this year.
Yeah, I felt like last year Grayson was a superstar team. They honestly remind me of the girls' version of Wheeler 2 years ago with Isaiah Collier, and that super team just looked unbeatable within the state. This year you have North Forsyth and North Paulding. I don't know who would win that matchup at the big stage. They seem to be very evenly matched. And then you see a lot of these top 10 matchups the last week were very close. Campbell, it looks like they've moved up in your rankings. You see Buford drop this last week. I think Carrollton had a competitive loss as well. But what do you think about the rest of your top five? I know Grayson and Archer have been very close, but where do you see Campbell just out of Cobb County rising in the poll?
Yeah, I think Campbell has a great chance. Obviously, they've been great. They recently beat Hillgrove 48-45. I think they're a team that could potentially be dangerous to have really good guard play. What's interesting is they can match up when they go up against like a Tatum Brown or something like that against Grayson. So that's why I have them at 4. I feel like Grayson with Coach Tim Slater, not the same talent level, but I still think the same superior coaching. So I think they have any chance. It just depends on who they match up with. But I think they could be a Final Four team.
And then between those top two, North Forsyth and North Paulding, both have incredible resumes. I mean, how close do you see that two-team battle?
I think it's very close. We obviously got to see the head coach, Coach West, of North Paulding in the Creekview Dave Hunter Basketball Classic earlier this year, and they gave us a thrilling game. We'll never forget that, the game winner by Ava Andrews in that one. They're very talented as well. They got so many young players that can play really elite guard play. And then you look at North Forsyth, I don't know a better front court that we have maybe in the state when you look at Landon Weaver and you look at the team that they have.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they are able to make history this year. Let's get to 5A.
All right, let's go to 5A. At the top, obviously, I had River Ridge. They beat private 3A or private Holly Innocents at the Holly Innocents MLK Classic 74-60 recently. Haley Swain, obviously, she's phenomenal. Was recently named McDonald's All-American. Langston Hughes, they ended up losing to Carrollton recently in a loss there. So I did drop them down. I gave River Ridge my #1 building, but they did beat St. Francis 66-60. Could be one of those things we've seen with Etowah and Willard. Craig, just kind of a kind of a reset, thing just to see where you at. Obviously, Morrow, they lost 53-52 to Sandy Creek, so I moved them up a little bit. And then Pope swept Sequoyah, winning in overtime 72-67. The game of the week, though, River Ridge is going to play Pope this Friday night, so that's going to be an interesting top 10 matchup. Can Pope beat a really good River Ridge team?
Yeah, Pope is having a great week, but I think when you look at this 5A rankings, River Ridge, oh so close last year. They returned to everyone. They look outstanding. I think 5A will be a really intriguing playoff bracket. I think a lot of even matchups, but to me it seems River Ridge has definitely solidified themselves as the #1. They're going to be a very tough team to beat.
Yes, they are. All right, let's go to 4A. At the top is Creekside. They look very impressive and have continued to. They beat South Ridge 57-52, and they beat Midtown 66-38 on the road. Marist obviously defeated St. Pius last night 68-41. They look like a really good challenger for them. Kell ended up beating Centennial 80-5. I think I seen the score was for that one. Norfolk Coney withstood Merlin Malibus 30 points to topple Athens Christian 48-46, so they've looked good as well. And then Jackson Atlanta lost to Midtown 59-50 last night, so that's a big time contest, Craig, between 6 and 8. So probably going to have to think about moving Midtown up over maybe Jackson Atlanta.
Yeah, Midtown's made a couple good runs recently. Great team this season. What do you think, though? I mean, Marist, we know how good they are. We know how star-powered they are with Kate Harpering. For Creekside to be #1, I mean, how confident are you that they have the ability to take this thing?
Yeah, I think they got a shot. What it's going to come down to is shot making, right? Can you get in a position where you got a great player like Sienna Dennis, who's obviously caught the kind of, world on fire here in the Peach State. She's so young, but is filling up. I think recently in the outage she had 30 points, right? Outside of her, where else does your offense come? Do you have girls you can kind of dump it down to below, and give it to her, in the paint if Dennis doesn't have it going? So that's the biggest question. And defensively, can you make enough stops? Because Harpering, she's going to get the defensive attention, which is double boxing ones. The coach talked about it, but she's such a great facilitator and playmaker. She can set her teammates up. So who else steps up besides her?
Very true. And then one stat we have right here, see India Dennis against Midtown in that win had 11 steals. That's going to be the key. If they can press Maris, get them off their game.
Yes.
Surround Kate Harper and produce those turnovers. That will be the key.
100%. All right, let's go to 3A now. At the top is Pickens. I really like them. They've had a really great season this year. They escaped North Hall recently, 42-39. Jefferson, they had a big win against Galloway, 66-59 in that one. They also swept the season series against Oconee County, 39-33 in that one. Oconee County probably will drop a few spots in the new poll. Baldwin, they suffered 3 straight losses, but I still kept them in the poll. I still think they're a great team, but it could be a wake-up call for them to see kind of how they're going to rebound and how they're going to finish. And then Sandy Creek climbed up a few spots for me as well after defeating Morrow in the For the Culture MLK Classic here recently. All right, let's go to 2A. At the top for 2A, you have Thompson. Thompson continues to look good. Murray County won at Lakeview Academy at the MLK Day Showcase, 48-42. Freshman Blakely Ledford scored 21 points in that one, so she's been looking good. Hardaway pulled away from Marietta, 67-51 in the MLK Classic. Rihanna Boynton had 17 points and 15 rebounds. The test here, though, Craig, is the top 4. All these teams played each other, and they've played each other out. Move Josie's also a very impressive team, but going up against Thompson, going up against Butler and Murray County, all those teams are going to play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens come postseason time, but so much familiarity.
Yeah, Josie, to me, they have great size, great rebounding. They went toe-to-toe with St. Francis. I think it's what you said. If they're able to hit their shots, get someone going from outside,
yes,
and really open it up offensively, they have the defense, they have the rebounding. It's just if they get hot, they're going to be pretty hard to beat.
100%. All right, guys, let's go to Class A Division I. Now at the top is obviously Elbert County. They won private Athens Academy 44-43. Sierra Rucker, she scored 12 points. Fannin County went 4-0 recently, beating Armucci 57-48 and also beating Christian Heritage 68-53. And then the model wore down by Heard County, who beat them 58-35 in that one. All right, let's go to Class A Division II. At the top, Taylor County. They've looked impressive so far this year. They suffered their first loss to St. Anne Pasolini, 58-47. You also have Wilcox County, who's been very impressive this season, and Telfair County had a big win last night as well in their win. So this is pretty much widespread. If I had to be honest with you, Craig, anybody I feel like can win in this Class A Division II.
Yeah, I've seen Taylor County make runs before, and their team, great ball movement. They usually have a shooter spotted up in the corner. They rely heavily on the three-point shot, but they always have multiple girls that can knock it down. And they probably have the most experience making championship runs in this new Class A Division II field.
They do. And without further ado, last but not least, we go to Class A 3A private. At the top, Heber Christian. They picked up a big win last night over Hart County. They continue to look impressive. St. Francis fell last week, 66-60 against Langston Hughes. And then Mount Perrin, they crushed number 9 Green Forest 54-13. Eagles are down 3 spots, but they continue to be very impressive so far this year. And Saca thrashed 6A Norcross 67-29.
And don't count out Mount Perrin with Jessica Fields. She is a superstar.
Yes, she is. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the basketball rankings. Coming up, we will talk to Daryl Lane of GHSA, the latest about basketball, slam dunk contest, three-point contest, and much, much more about the basketball here in the state of Georgia.